Welcome back to the channel. This is Wei Hao at Direct Impact Solutions. In this video, I'll introduce 3 reasons why UUID is better than serial numbers as primary keys. The serial number has been used for database primary keys for ages. Most relational database systems come with features that generate serial numbers, and FileMaker is one of them. However, the UUID has several advantages over the serial number as the primary key in the FileMaker app, and here are 3 of them. One main drawback of the serial number is that its uniqueness is conditional. It's unique within the context of its own table, but not globally, and this can cause confusion when you import or merge data. Let's say you build an app for retail stores to manage their orders. It likely copy the same FileMaker file and distribute them to each store, so they could have the same functionality but independent data. Let's say you would like to import all the store's order data every month into a centralized database for sales reporting purposes. If you used a serial number as your order primary key, you might have orders with the same primary key value coming from 3 different stores this month. Now you have duplicated primary keys. If that is not bad enough, wait until you import the order items. Because there are duplicated order IDs, all the child order items will be confused about which one is their parent order. However, if you use UUID as your primary key, each order will have a unique ID, regardless of which store it came from. You only need to import them without worrying about duplicated keys or mixed up child items. Another problem with serial numbers is that a number can be identical to a part of another bigger number. For example, it's quite common for developers to list the primary keys of a bunch of records and want to perform some operations on them, like removing a value or replacing a value. For example, we have the following 5 records. On the left side, you see 5 UUIDs. On the right side, you see some potential values coming from serial numbers. The plus button, clicking on that, will add the value into a list, and the minus button, when clicking on it, will use the substitute function to replace the value matching the corresponding key with the empty string, effectively clearing it out. When we use this with primary keys, with the values on the left, everything seems to be smooth. When I want to remove the value from the first record, clicking on the minus sign will clear out the corresponding row. However, when I try to do the same with serial numbers and try to remove the value from the first record, not only did the first row get cleared out, some other row's value also got removed or altered, because the value 10, the number 10, is also part of some other key values. Yes, I know you can add character returns before and after these values to mitigate this issue. And yes, I know there are custom functions that allow you to manipulate values more comfortably. But like Bob Dylan said, how many times must a custom functions be imported before you realize it's not worth it? The third reason is more relevant to developers. Despite the fact we have the FileMaker data migration tool nowadays, every now and then we might need to port changes or make changes in the production system directly. If a table has a serial number field in it, the moment you double-click on one of its field's definition in Managed Database, the entire table is locked, and users will not be able to create new records in this table. This is called table locking. The field that you're trying to update doesn't have to be a serial number field itself, but as long as its parent table contains a serial number field, it creates table locking, and it's quite annoying. With the UUID, you'll have no such issue. So, should we use UUID as primary keys in all circumstances in FileMaker? Yes and no. And this is a big yes and a small no. The only significant drawback of UUID is that it takes more storage space than serial numbers, simply because it's a much longer string, as you can see on the screen. If minimizing storage space is absolutely mission critical for you, then using serial numbers has its merit. But let's be real, we're talking about primary keys in the context of FileMaker apps. You will need to have billions of records to worry about storage issues caused by primary keys. More often, when we talk about storage issues in the FileMaker app, it's usually caused by having too much container data. But does this mean we would never use serial numbers? That's not true either. Sometimes, the sequentiality matters, like in accounting. Remember that time your check number jumped over a number and the accountant freaked out? In those cases, I still recommend you to use a UUID as your primary key, but create an alternate key using the serial number. You can display the serial number on the UI so users can reference them, but you can use the UUID primary key behind the scene to link records together, so you can still benefit from all the good reasons I mentioned earlier. That is the end of this video. If you learned something new or enjoyed the content, don't forget to leave us a like and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.